Good afternoon. This meeting of the Other Post-Employment Benefits, or OPEB Trustees Committee meeting is called to order. It is 3:39 p.m. Val, do you mind taking roll call?
Fran McGregor. Absent. Mary Lamont.
Present.
Jeff Kurtz.
Present.
Mark Vanders.
Present.
Other attendees, Jessica Young and Valerie Phillips, recording secretary.
Okay, very good. So we do have a quorum, and we can move to approval of the minutes of February 24th, 2022.
I'll move that we approve the minutes. This is Jeff Kirst.
Mary Lamont, second.
Great. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes unanimously, and I should have asked, because this is an action item, for public comment. Do we have any public comment? Yes, yes. Please feel free to come to the podium. Give your public comment. This is the first public comment we've had in years.
Well, I
So
wish.
this is wonderful. Yeah, that's right.
I wish I had lots of verbiage, but I don't generally. I'm Ellen Minetto. I'm representing the trustees. I'm a trustee, meaning school board trustee. And we want to thank you for what you do, because you probably don't get a lot of thanks, but we sure appreciate it. I mean, I'm a retired teacher here, and we sure appreciate all the hard work you put into this, and on good days and bad days. And so, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think this is the definition of a thankless job, is it not? Right. Right. Thank you very much. You know, we can get that done. I got it in. All right, moving on. Item 2.02 is information and discussion item only. Sorry? We just did the minutes. It's quick. Yeah, we did minutes, public comment. Yep, so we are on to item 2.02, which are third quarter financial statements for the OPEB Trust, and presenting that is Jessica Young, our controller.
Hi. So, the third quarter for fiscal year 22 is showing an increase to the net position of about $923,684. And just as a point of comparison, last year at this point, we had a net increase to the net position of $11,985,730. And so there's quite a difference, and the difference is attributed to the investment income that we've received in the last fiscal year through the third quarter compared to this year.
What page are you looking at?
We're looking at the statement of revenues, expenditures, and change in net position.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, nothing is that much different year over year other than the investment earnings.
Any questions? No? No questions? No questions. Okay, all right. Moving it on then to item 2.03, which is the Retirement Benefits Investment Fund Report for the period ended March 31, I'll take this one, and so this is, again, information only. This is the chart, the multicolored chart that we get from Nevada, the Nevada PERS system. And as of, so this shows you returns fiscal year to date, 1, 3, 5, and 10 years. And so this is the entire Retirement Benefits Investment Fund. Of course, we just have a portion of that. But you can see the fiscal year return as of March 31 at least was 2.2%. So kind of we know we've seen a close to a bear market now in the S&P 500. We started July 1 where the S&P 500 was at 43.19, and as of 3/31, the date of this report, it had actually gone up to 45.30. So the S&P index had actually climbed as of the third quarter by 6.5%. But of course, we've seen it kind of plunge since. But we'll report on that in the next quarter. So this is the way, of course, equities work. Kind of go up and down, and right now we're kind of, or after March 31, we've seen the impact of that. But certainly, as of March 31, we had a respectable return. The bond market you see has a negative return, and that's because yields have actually started to rise, and certainly we're reinvesting dollars at a higher yield, but for the moment, most of the RBIF's fixed income securities showed a loss because of the rise in yields. Any questions?
Jeff Kirst, one question. If there are massive dislocations within these markets, do they rebalance the portfolio in order to keep their target allocations as they are?
They do. That's a good question. You can see as of March 31, their actual allocation was a little bit off their target allocation, so I'm kind of surprised it's off by as much as, in the case of the S&P 500, 1.5%. But I know they do rebalance, and I can check on what the rebalancing process is or philosophy is, if it's plus or minus a certain percentage, or if it's based on a date certain rebalancing. I'll check on that, because that's a good question. Okay, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we are on to item 2.04, which is for possible action, and this is to accept the OPEB financial statements that have been audited by Crow for June 30th of 2021, and I'll turn it over to Jessica to kind of walk through that.
So I put together a summary of our last 3 years of audits, just so you could have something as a point of reference for what our audit looks like. So the audit that we're reviewing is for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021. And so what we're looking at is the OPEB trust, which is an irrevocable trust that money has been invested in to cover our OPEB liability. And so, so at the end of fiscal year 21, our total OPEB liability was $183 million, which is on page 13 of the audit. And so the trust actually represents that we are 45% funded for this liability. And the trust increased in value by $18 million during fiscal year 21, which is primarily attributed to the investment earnings. And so there are contributions that are made to this fund, and then the funds can be used for retirement benefits other than pension for retirees. And that's strictly all that the funds in this trust can be used for. And if you have any questions about anything that I can answer.
Jeff Kirst, one question that I had, I'm not sure if this is the right section, but the number of beneficiaries of this trust is capped. I wondered what entity keeps track of who is still with us as those numbers decline, because they won't increase, they would decline. Who keeps track of it?
I believe, Mark, maybe you can help me with this. Is it the state that is tracking these?
Well, it's our Human Resources Department, and so we do, we have a record of those employees, and certainly, yes, most of the employees actually go through the state's OPEB program, and so, we share the records with OPEB, so that they know who's, eligible and on the plan, and they provide those records back to us in terms of, the required contribution and so forth by the OPEB trust. Yeah. I'm trying to find the number.
7,200 people, I think, and then 9,000 in the life insurance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I went over Valerie's list, she sent me.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where I saw it, and I got to wondering
Mm-hmm.
where they keep track of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a huge part.
Yes, they do. So this was a banner year for investments. Maybe the high water mark ever that we'll see in terms of, those kind of returns, but it was nice to see our money working for us like that. Any other questions? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to accept the June 30th, 2021 audited financial statements. Oh, I should ask, is there any public comment, since this is an action item? I'm getting used to this new way of public comment. Seeing no public comment. Now, I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial statements.
Jeff Kirst, a motion to accept the audited financial statements for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2021.
Mary Lamont, I second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great, motion passes unanimously, thank you. Next up is item 2.05, which is discussion and possible action to accept the OPEB budget for fiscal year '23, the fiscal year starting on July 1, as previously approved by the Washoe County School District Board of Trustees as part of our annual budget for fiscal year '23. So this is a one-pager under tab 2.05. Kind of a very simple table. This is an action required by state law and state regulations that you do. We have budgeted $2 million in contributions, which is basically what we've been doing for a number of years now for '23. And then we've provided a budgeted dollar value for the actuarially assumed return on investment. So that's where we kind of come up with the numbers of $613,922 for earnings, and then adjustment to fair market value of $4.77 million. Those are just based on the assumed RBIF rates of return times the beginning balance, with RBIF. And then, we've budgeted for benefits to be paid out. So, the budget shows if things went all according to assumed rates of return, an increase in assets of $1.9 million. We'll see happens, of course, but this is, the budget we've prepared. We've held steady with contributions, even though the district's kind of had its issues, of course, with funding, overall funding. But again, at least the budget shows that we're not dipping into reserves here. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. But otherwise, looking for a motion to approve.
Jeff Kirst, I'll make a motion to approve the budget for the fiscal year 2022,
23.
23, 22, 23.
Right.
Mary Lamont, I second that motion.
Okay, and again, I'm learning, since it's for possible action, I need to ask for public comment. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. On to really exciting stuff now, item 2.06, which is review of the IRS Form 990. And here to walk us through that is our controller, Jessica Young.
So the Form 90 is an information-only tax return, or form.
And this is, I'm sorry, this is, yes, yeah. Okay,
It's something that the IRS requires so that they can collect information about tax-exempt organizations. It does present the financial information, but it's also very concerned with the organization's activities and with their governance, because they want to ensure that this organization is still worthy of maintaining a tax-exempt status. So that's the purpose of filing a tax form when you're a tax-exempt organization and there will be no tax due for it. So basically, it just it summarizes the financial information. It goes into what the organization's mission is, and it talks about who is on the board, and because there could be penalties if somebody's being compensated too much. That's on the committee. So basically, it's just collecting information to help the IRS determine that this organization should still have a tax-exempt status.
Jeff Kirst, just one question on the form. It says 2020.
So thank you for asking that, because I had the same question. The form, the IRS form you use is whatever the December 31st is that falls in your fiscal year. So our fiscal year 21, the December 31st is calendar year 2020. And so that's what the IRS requires. You're welcome. It is very confusing, though.
yeah, and right, and I believe we got an extension to file this.
We did. You are able to ask for a 6-month extension for this, and so while the financial statements were being audited, they put the tax return on extension.
Jeff Kirst, I think at the first meeting I went to, we had a couple of, maybe 1 or 2 extensions with
Yes.
the documents.
Yes.
That's what I thought. I thought I remembered.
Yeah, we've talked to Crow about kind of getting more on the regular cycle, and we'll be doing that, so.
They're performing our financial statement audit, and so it's kind of, I think they're consumed with that, and so this kind of gets pushed off a little bit, but it got pushed off a lot this year.
You're still happy with them?
Yeah, and I think we're going to get on a better schedule with them in the coming year for the OPEB audit.
And Jeff Kirst, I think last meeting we talked about going out and seeking some it wasn't for the auditor, it was for the actuary, I think, to
Fair.
get
Yes.
some other
Yes.
information and prices and the like. I wondered if that ever happened or what happened.
Not yet. We've had some turnover in the office, but we will be doing that. It's just kind of juggling priorities at the moment, but that is something we will go out and do a solicitation for. You're correct, actuarial services.
Gallagher's, I think, was the
Gallagher is our current.
historical one.
Yes, but we will go out and do that. It's just a matter of finding the bandwidth to do that.
Understood. Thank you.
I know one question, at least when I started here and we had the Form 990, was this issue of conflict of interest. And I know we all abide by the conflict of interest code, and it really doesn't come into play for the OPEB trust. If there was a asset manager that we had and you had a interest in that company, that we use, that might rise to be something that, would be an issue. But since we utilize a public agency to make our investments, obviously there's no opportunity for any kind of conflict of interest there. So, that shouldn't be a problem going forward or anything, but I know that, it comes up, what do you mean by conflict of interest? And so, unless you were a majority owner or Crow or something, maybe then there might be a conflict of interest, but anyhow, that was for information discussion only, so. Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but my name is misspelled on page 7.
Uh-oh. That happens to you.
Yes, it does. I don't know why. Yeah, there's no E at the end.
Okay. Okay. So we can talk to Crow about that. Okay. We will do that.
Doesn't matter to me. If it matters to you guys, then fix it.
Okay, yep,
Doesn't matter to me.
yep, okay. Okay, we're on to exciting business now. This is for possible action, and it's too bad Fran's not here to help do this. But we need to elect a chair and vice chair for next fiscal year. And so, it's always a little weird, but the way this works is somebody can nominate someone, and then if they're seconded, then we take a vote, and then, and so forth. We don't do secret ballots or anything, so. But we do need to pick a chair among us four, and heck, it would be fun to pick for Fran as chair, wouldn't it? Since she's not here, but I'm not to suggest anything. But anyhow, I will take nominations for chair of the OPEB trust.
I nominate Jeff Kirst for chair. You're the only one that talks, so you should be the chair guy.
Jeff Kirst would not be suitable to be the chair of this trust. I would withdraw my name from that, and I would like to nominate our current chairman, Chairman Mathers, if he's willing to do it.
It's between us.
No, it's
Oh,
between
then
us
never
four.
mind.
No, and I don't take offense. I think Jeff would do an awesome
It's
job.
between us.
No.
And I withdraw my nomination.
Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a second then?
You can second.
No, he
I
nominated.
nominated.
Mary Lamont, I second that
Okay.
motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes unanimously. Now for vice chair, you guys get to fight it out, or we could nominate Fran for vice chair. So this is 2.08. We do need a motion to appoint a vice chair. So, yes.
Are we able to keep Fran in absentia, or is that bad?
I think you have that. She's still on the board. I don't know where she is today, but she's still, she's still on the committee. So if you would like to nominate Fran, I think you can do that. That'll teach her.
She can't say no.
She can't decline the nomination.
And she did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Mary Lamont, I nominate Fran McGregor as vice chair. Is that right?
I second.
okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. Fran remains our vice chair. Okay, we go to closing items, and I guess we do have to take public comment. Seeing no public comment, we will move to agenda item 3.02. Our next meeting is August 25th, and I wanted to let you know that our secretary, Ms. Phillips over there, this is her last OPEB trust meeting. She is she's joining the group of retirees as of June 30th, even though, well, she could get life insurance. You could get life, you could kind of participate in the program. But June 30th is her last day, so she's joining the happy group of district retirees. Yes, okay. So you won't see her probably on August 25th unless you want to make public comment, Val.
I'll just come and thank everybody.
Okay, yeah. So, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.